Welcome to Timeout, Kevin. We have a special guest today, Juarez. She was a pitcher, a great pitcher. I remember watching her on TV last year at this time. So, the first question I want to ask you is toughest team or batter you ever went against?
Um, Not to sound biased because I ended up being on her team, Jocelyn Allo.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, number 29 in her home run. That was me. Um, Toughest team, I would have to say OSU because 2019 I did really well against them.
Mhm.
2021, not so much. But just like the way that they figured me out, like and
Mhm.
everything, just getting after it, and like obviously the environment and everything. So, but definitely toughest team is OSU.
So like how was like Jocelyn? How is she as a person? I don't know, like how she is a person and how she is like a competitor. Because like it goes a lot because a lot of people see the product, they don't see the work that goes in it. So like can
Yes.
you just touch a little bit about that and then we'll just get on to the next question. I just want to know like just a little tad bit about her.
Yeah. She is really awesome. Especially like at practice. I would go up to her and after I would pitch to her live and I would be like, hey, like, can you tell me what you were looking for? How was this one? And she would give me great feedback. And especially getting it from the one of the best hitters in the nation right now and probably ever will be. Getting that feedback really helped me develop as a pitcher. Off the field, she is as goofy as could be. I mean, on the field, she is too. But she's just like such a down to earth person. She's not all about the record. I mean, yes, she loves it, but it's not the only thing you know about her or anything.
Right.
Like you really get to know her as a person. And she really cares deeply for people. She really loves Frenchies. So I saw this video on Instagram the other day. And so I decided to send it to her, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I really want it," and whatnot. So just really down to earth person, and really fun to be around, especially on the field because she could make me laugh if I needed it.
Mhm.
And she'd be also really honest with me about what she saw. And I think that is what I needed in a teammate, especially one who's one of the best in the nation,
Right.
to give me back feedback and whatnot. So just really awesome.
So like how did you get started in the softball and talk about like your high school? Because I was looking up your stats and stuff. You had a super great high school career. So just tell me about that and how you got started into it.
When I was younger, I don't remember what grade. I know it was before high school. I had the option between like doing piano and softball, and I was kind of like, I guess I'll do softball. Like it seems fun. And I have a picture. I'm not kidding. It was like me holding a bat this high and
Uh-huh.
me hunched over and everything. I think Nicole Mendez has it on her phone still. Um, and it's like the goofiest photo ever, but I just like fell in love with it. And when I decided to become a pitcher, it was maybe a year or two after that. I was at like this rec ball tryout, and at those you have to play every position.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try pitching, whatever. And there's this big net in front of me and at the home plate, and I completely missed. Like it was nowhere close. It was like 10 feet to the left and on the ground. And then they were like, okay, try again, like come a little closer. So I got a little bit closer and I hit it this time. And I just like I went to my mom after and I was like, I love this. Like, can I do it? And by the time I had started, I was like 13, 14, going into high school, really taking pitching seriously. And um, I got told a lot of no's, like you're too old, like you're not gonna be a D1 pitcher, like you're starting too late. And me and my dad went out every day after high school practice, after games. I remember being at the most random park in the back of the field while other teams are practicing, and I'm in my game uniform for high school. And when I decided to transfer to Mountain Ridge, I got the opportunity to become one of the pitchers, and like the coach really took me under her wing and like helped me develop, and really took a chance on a girl who wasn't that great, but
Hmm.
like that really was where I started like falling in love with it. And we went to state and twice we lost both of them, one of them to Grace Lyons.
Oh wow.
um yeah, nobody really knows that like she was at the rival high school, and then my junior year we played state against each other, and then now would you look at us, like we played together in
Right,
college, like how
right. It's
cool.
crazy. Yeah, small world.
Oh yeah, it was like I was like, I think when I went on my visit, she came up to me and she's like, "Yeah, do you remember playing against me?" I was like, "Yes, I do. Every ball in the game went to you."
Right, 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 right.
So it was so funny.
Yeah, she's great to watch. So
Yeah.
talk about, so how did the Team USA come about after, like, so how did that all surface?
My freshman year, um, so what's funny is I actually had surgery my freshman fall. Going into freshman year, I had surgery. And then the spring came around, the invites came out, and the tryout was for, oh wait, no, sorry. I'm back up. I messed up. I messed up. Um, I had surgery and I wanted, am I thinking of the right year? I feel like all my years are like
Yeah, yeah, the
messed up.
same way.
But I did have surgery before the tryout. Um, and I was rehabbing and then the tryout came about and I was like, okay, we're gonna try our best. Like we'll see how it goes. And I ended up making the team and then I actually re-tore my hip and got injured again on the same area that I had surgery on prior to. So that summer ended up being really fun. One of the best summers of my life. Just the girls that I was around, I played with Bailey Klingler, Sis Bates, Deja Mulapula, some of the best, you know. Jesse Harper, like I'm just thinking of all the names now. That like I knew now created a great career for themselves. But
Right.
it was actually really fun. I got to learn a lot. I loved playing with Team USA. It was really cool. Just the coaches I got to learn from. Who was it that I was near? Oh, it was Danielle O'Toole. Um, she was on the USA team at the time, on the women's national team, and I was pitching next to her because we combined practices one time, and I was like so nervous standing next to her. I was like, oh my gosh, she's like so awesome. And I'm like a freshman
Right,
going into my
right,
sophomore
right.
year. I'm like, oh my gosh, she is so amazing. Like I can't believe I'm like next to her. So
Mhm.
it was just a really cool experience to be around those people and get that opportunity. I was really grateful for that.
Right. So what was the thought process of going to Arizona State? And I know your sophomore year, I believe you were top 10 finalist for Player of the Year, did your first no hitter. Then what I found, and you were
Yeah,
All American. So congrats, by the way, that's awesome.
thank you.
I haven't touched any of those when I've been in college. So what was the decision or the thought process of going to Arizona State?
It was close to home. I actually, prior to going to ASU, I was committed to Fresno State, which is where Coach
Okay,
Ford
yeah.
was.
Hmm.
And so during that time, before I had found out that she had left, I actually got injured that was why I had surgery, is because I got injured the
Okay,
summer
gotcha,
before.
gotcha.
And so I decommitted because I wanted to be close to home during that time and having an 8-hour drive, possibly post surgery or having my family in a town that I didn't really know and trying to get surgery there without them. I couldn't imagine.
Mhm.
And so I decommitted and then found out she was going to ASU, and she played a huge part in why I wanted to go there. And it being 45 minutes away from home,
Oh,
I was
dang,
like,
that's
okay, this
really
just,
close.
it
Yeah.
feels like, it felt like everything was just lining up, you know? Um, and what's funny is I actually have a picture with Dallas Escobedo when she was at ASU playing. And then my freshman year, I was the one playing, and I have a picture with her in just like a ASU outfit when she was coaching me. So it's
Yeah.
kind of cool to see how like it all worked
Full
out,
circle
you
kind of,
know.
yeah.
But
Mhm. So I know we passed through Arizona before going to my basketball tournament. It's hot. So
oh,
like,
it's so hot.
so you were born in Arizona, right?
I was
So
born in Illinois,
Okay.
but I moved here when I was 2, so I consider
So yeah,
myself,
you basically okay, gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. I feel you. Cause yeah, when we went there, I was like, God, I'm ready to get going. It was like
Oh
50,
yeah,
50 degrees outside.
yeah.
It was so hot. So and I don't know why I said that. Anyway, so
No, you're fine.
transferring to Oklahoma is obviously a huge deal in like the softball world. It's just in any sport really. So
Yeah.
what was the what made you leave Arizona to go to Arizona State to go to OU, and how did Coach Gasso and Coach Rocha help you along the way for those? I guess it would have been 3 years, I guess, and you had the COVID year. So like, how was your time at OU?
I left ASU due to drama and my mental health not being prioritized. And when it was brought to Coach Ford's attention, it was not, nothing was done about it. We tried taking it to the AD, nothing was done about it. So at that point, it's time to prioritize myself more than anything.
Yeah.
And it was so hard. It was one of the toughest decisions of my life, but I think it was what was supposed to happen. I decided to go to OU because when I went there, it was nothing but family, and they cared for me so much as a person that like I don't even think I like ever knew what it was really like. And like it was nothing about like this is our program, this is what we've done in the past. It was like, hey, let's go to my house, let's go to a football game, like let's show you who we are as people. And so just that amazingness, like just I was drawn to it. Coach Gasso and Coach Rocha had just helped me become like a godly woman. They really helped me grow in my faith, and just pushed me to become a woman outside of softball and everything. And like, I don't know, I just don't have enough good things to say about either of them. Like I think of them like both like my mom. Like I could go to Coach Gasso right now, like, and tell her, hey, I'm struggling, and she would be there for me. Or like Coach Rocha, like, just like I think of the memories at each of their houses that we've had when we spent time there, and just the fun and smiles that we had, and I just love them both.
And it's kind of crazy, like at those big levels, because I know a lot of my friends that went Division I and people I've met, like the coaches don't really talk to them. They don't really care what happens outside of this whatever sport you're in, and that's so cool. To have them care enough about y'all to like really make that, you know, a lot of coaches, even like at the NAI, D2, whatever, like people don't care as much. You know what I mean? And that's so awesome that these big like Hall of Fame level coaches like care about each individual if you play or not. You know what I mean? And
it was so
really
hard
cool,
because like when I played against them when I was at OU or ASU, seeing them, like I was like, Coach Gasso, like she's scary. And like when I was talking, so like when she emailed me, I was like, Coach Gasso just emailed me. Like I remember freaking out. I remember exactly where I was. And I ran downstairs and I was texting my parents and I was like, Coach Gasso just emailed me. and I was like, okay, I have to call her. So I called her, and I remember like sweating and like freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, how do I act? But just like hearing her and the way she talked to me, like it was like, she's like, so the first thing she asked me why I was leaving. And I was okay with it. Like I felt so comfortable telling her and telling her everything. And she really heard me. And like the coolest thing about that program was when I went in there, one of the first things, like, so we did like classroom setting type stuff, and it wasn't always about softball, it wasn't always like mindset stuff, it was about forgiveness and forgiving people in your life. And she would tell us stories about her own life and like people she was forgiving, and we just did things that would help us grow as people. And like I know she's doing stuff about the mental health in softball right now and in the world. So just seeing that type of thing, which I had never seen before, was really authentic and really cool. This like, especially with the persona that I see on the field, I was like, oh man. And then to see that, but it was just awesome.
Okay, I'll have you about the mental health side of things. So from both of us being college athletes, you know, it's very time consuming and very stressful, you know, especially when you're in season. So can you talk about the mental health issue that's going on now? You see all the sadly people committing suicides and people are really speaking out about stuff. So can you just kind of elaborate on that? And I've seen that you made a post about it on Twitter, I believe the other day, about it. So can you just speak a little bit about the mental health side of things and just all that stuff going on right now?
Yeah. So for me, my own personalness story is I didn't take it as seriously until COVID happened. It kind of pushed me towards taking care of myself, mental health side. And I think that's when it became a bigger deal for me. Like transferring, and like I found out that I suffered from PTSD from my time at ASU. Found out that I suffered with depression. And like I went to Coach Gasso and I told her about it, and she was very like open and like heard me, and told me like how to prioritize myself and take care of things on the field. So that was just really awesome to hear that, not expecting that. And then to see all of the stuff coming out now just really hits home. And it's heartbreaking that the NCAA hasn't done more stuff to sanction mental health in each program, because I was grateful that like when I went to OU that we had resources for that, whereas at ASU I didn't have that resource, and it wasn't prioritized or anything. And so it's really hard seeing all the sadness and the people and hearing the stories that people are coming out with, but to know that I wasn't the only one struggling, and then to realize like big time professional athletes are struggling, but also people around me. And people just need to be nice. I don't know why it's so hard. Like athletes aren't perfect. Like there's such a stigma about like us being perfect and having, oh, you're so strong and whatnot, but we're people at the end of the day. And so I think people need to remember that like, hey, we're people too, and we're not always going to be perfect. So I don't know, it was just really cool to see that people are coming out and speaking up about it.
I think we value so much, even like at the NIL level where I'm at, like I think we value so much emphasis on just the sport that we forget that we're all like 18 or like 22, 23 years old. Like, cause you're still like a kid, you know what I mean? And, especially y'all, y'all on ESPN, y'all are playing a big time, with 20,000 people staying, you know what I mean? Like, and it's a lot of pressure. And you haven't had great games, or whatever. I haven't had great games. And, they get on Facebook and like, oh, Juarez sucks. Oh, can't believe you did this. And I saw the post that you made on Facebook. That's why. And just people just forget that it's a game at the end of the day. No, at the end of the day, and even just to go off topic, the game the other day that we lost to OSU. It's okay. Like in the grand scheme of things, it's okay. Like we're still gonna make the national tournament. Like it's not like it's like the end of the season.
I think
was just so really negative. Oh my god!
I saw.
Go ahead.
I saw a post and I like got so mad because people were saying, if anything, it's on Coach, and this is her loss. She shouldn't be trying to give Nicole May confidence. And I wanted to go off. Thankfully, the post was already deleted by the administration in the group, because I was going to go off, which is why I made the next post. But like, it's not like, I'm not trying. Nobody's trying to lose. Nobody's trying to take things lightly. Like nobody's trying to walk in a run. Sorry, that's not like how we work here. We're not one of the best programs in the nation because we're trying to do anything or take teams lightly or think we're too big or anything like that. Like it's so hard just seeing that stuff, and like especially because I know these people personally.
I was about to say, you really know them. Like we're just like watching TV.
But like to hear it, and I saw it, and I was like, I'm done. I can't. I have to say something, because I just didn't like it. And then just like, hey, nice reminder, like, hey, let's be kind. But I think also what's cool about the whole mental health conversation happening is people are getting access to these resources that they probably didn't know they had. And or resources are going to get put into play now. And I think that's something that I like want to do, is like make people aware of resources that they didn't know they had. That way they have that option, should they choose to go that way. So just so they don't think, okay, this is all I have. Like, no, you have so much more and whatnot. So
what was your major in college?
A bachelor in science. But it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. So it's kind of like my own program, because when I transferred, my credits didn't transfer. So I'm basically kind of, it's like an exercise and wellness degree, but
Uh-huh.
it doesn't say that on it. It says
Yeah, I
planned
feel
program. But yeah,
it. I
I was
feel
like,
it.
huh, I don't never know how to answer that question.
Right, right. I was just wondering, yeah.
No,
You'd be
it's
like a good
okay.
counselor. I think you'd be a great if you got like psychology field. That's what I'm in. You'd be a great counselor.
Oh, thanks. You know what? Somebody, Shannon Sales said that. She's like, you need to be a therapist. And I was like, thanks, but I didn't major in that.
Yeah, yeah, it's a long process. I'm almost done. um,
Yeah, I took psych as a class and I was like, no, I'm done. I
it's
can't.
a lot. It's a lot that
It's
goes into
hard.
it. It's a lot because I have a minor in criminal justice and I'm gonna
Oh,
add
wow.
another minor in political science. So
Oh, that's so awesome.
yeah, so I'm trying. It gets hard, but
Yeah.
um back to OU. So um so you had the bicep injury because like your senior year was cut short obviously due to COVID and
Hmm.
the injury. So
Yeah.
how did the biceps? I never tore my bicep or anything like
Hmm.
that. So like how was that process of getting it back to work and using it again and having the surgery, and how did the COVID pandemic affect you in a negative and positive way?
So I actually heard it after the World Series in 2019, after we lost to UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard it that summer. And throughout the fall of 2019, we tried to, like, we would take steps off, we would take weeks off. We tried PRP, which is an injection, and then we tried time off again, and then a what's it called? A I don't know what it's called. Wow, I blanked. It's basically like I was trying to work back into pitching
Mm-hmm.
at certain percentages each week. And so that happened. And then before COVID happened, we were playing at U of A and I was warming up and this is the first time like I felt good. I was like, oh my gosh, I might be fine. Um, and then we got into the game. The game started. This is my first start of the season, I think, of that year. And I struck out the first batter. We're halfway through the second batter. I think I got a strike on her and I felt a pop. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just did it. Like, I remember freaking out. I was like, time, 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 like, Elam,
Mm-hmm.
come out here. And she was like, what? Like, what's wrong? And I was like, I felt it. It happened. Like, something happened. And she's like, okay, take a deep breath. Maybe it was just that one pitch. And I was like, okay, we're fine. So I threw another one and I was like, no, like I remember like
Right,
vividly
right.
shaking my head and like I was like going like this to the dugout, like, Coach Rocha, come out here. And so I called her out there and she was like, hey, like, what's going on? And I was like, I felt it. And I remember being super panicky in my voice and whatnot. And she's like, do you want to finish the batter? And I was like, competitor in me was like, yeah, I want to finish the
Yeah.
batter because I had two strikes. Like, why wouldn't I? Um, so I think she called a rise ball. It came out like a changeup. So I was like, oops. I didn't tear it fully.
Oh, okay.
Well, here's the thing though. I was told the entire time this process that it was bicep tendonitis. So I was like, there's no way. I felt a pop. Like, I'm not crazy.
Right.
Like, there's something else going on here. So it was after Mary Nutter that I took some time, talked to my parents, and really explained what was going on. Um, and I was like, I need to talk to the doctor again. They came out the next weekend, I think, and we talked to the doctor, all of us, and he was like, well, we can do a cortisone injection or we can do surgery. And so I got or no, I didn't. I got surgery. Sorry. I totally just messed that up. I got surgery. I'm not kidding. 6 days before everything shut down.
Oh wow.
And
Yeah, that's
yeah,
good.
when he went in, he was like, you tore 2/3 of your bicep tendon. It was basically about to snap. And I was like, okay,
Mm,
cool.
yeah.
So it was nice because I was like, okay, I'm not crazy. But then 6 days later, everything was shut down. And I was like,
Right.
so what did I just get surgery for?
Right. Seriously.
um, it was nice because it did allow me to have surgery and recover. Um, I think negatively, the way the pandemic affected me was that it made it harder to do physical therapy, just
Mhm.
because I wasn't around the group of girls that I was used to.
Right.
And
Right.
so just like the mental aspect was super hard. It was nice because I got to hang out with my family again. And like,
Right,
it was the
right.
first birthday I think that I celebrated with them, not at a softball field.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think it made physical therapy harder. And every time I felt like I was taking one step forward, it felt like 20 steps
Right,
backwards.
right, right.
Not just with the pandemic, but just the whole physical therapy of my arm. I was scared I wasn't going to come back the same, and not be good enough again. And I think that also took a toll on like my mental health that year. Um, just like not sure of how it was going to come back, if
Right.
I was going to be the same, if I was going to throw as hard, if I was going to be able to move my arm the same, trying to fix mechanics as well coming back. So it was really hard, but I mean, I'm really glad I got the surgery. I mean, either way, I was going to get the surgery, but
Right.
it could have been in March before the pandemic started, or maybe in December when the
Right.
pandemic kind of got better. So
Got better, yes.
timing wise, it worked out really well.
Did you lose any velocity or anything like that negative like after?
I don't believe I lose velocity, or sorry, I don't believe I lost velocity. I think I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so I don't think my curveball is as good. But I mean, I think it moved the same. I think it just moved slightly different, a little bit
A
different.
little different, yeah, just a little like little tweaks.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
definitely
How
like
fast did you throw? Like usually?
63 to 66 is
Okay.
where I wanted to be.
Yeah,
I could get
because
up to 68, but I was like, no, it's gonna
right.
be flat as could be.
Right. I remember like the radar guns from that World Series. It was like you was like
Don't believe
clocking like
it.
74.
Don't believe
It
it. Don't
was like
believe it.
74. I was like, yeah, this is
Absolutely not.
so hard.
No, absolutely not. If it said that, it take like 10 miles off.
Yeah, I feel you. So let's go into so the national championship team.
Hmm.
That was a great team. That was a fun series, just with the JMU
Hmm.
game, the Odyssey Alexanders, and just that was just a whole like great like just
Oh yeah.
so talk about that and losing that first. Not people forget that y'all lost that game, the first game, first go around. So talk
Yeah.
about that and just everything leading up to the national championship when y'all won, and talk about when you were named the outstanding player at the end of your career. And it was cool that you had the last out, the pop up back to you. That was
Yeah.
awesome. So just talk about just everything in that time frame.
Oh man. The first game was hard. Just because I think we kind of got shell shocked.
Yeah.
I think like the new ones, I don't want to say freshmen because there were sophomores that hadn't been to the World Series because of COVID. Um, and so I think like the younger ones were like deer in headlights, like the noise, the atmosphere, everything. I know I was when I first went there, so I can only imagine how they felt. Um, and so I think that's where the returners were like, hey, we got to kick it up a notch, and like we just got to be us and help them along the way. And so I think we kind of took that one to heart, and we're like, okay, we have this many games to go. Like we were focused on one game, survive and move on. Um, and so I think that's what our mentality was the rest of the time, was for each other, and just focusing on one pitch, one moment at a time. And so I think after that, I remember the Georgia game kind of, but of the games of that day, the one I remember is UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
Not because we won. I mean, yeah, like that was a great moment. Because it felt like kind of like vengeance finally.
Right,
Like,
right, right,
yes, we
right,
beat UCLA,
right.
but I think the thing I take away from the UCLA game was coming in for Nicole May, and I will forever use that game as an example of like where I felt like I flipped a switch, because that whole year wasn't my best year. I will openly admit that. Um, but I don't know what it was about that game, but it felt like everything had switched. And I did it for something even bigger than everything else I was doing it for.
Right.
And I couldn't explain that feeling. It just like I went in, I told May, I was like, hey, I got you, and like that was it. And then like every game after that, I was just ready. I was ready to go. I don't remember the second game. Oh, yes, I do. I remember giving up the home run to Mason, and then just like wanting to get her out again.
Mhm.
And whatnot. And I remember that game like being fun. And then um what was it? What was it? Oh, that night I saw an article. I don't usually pay attention to articles, but I don't know why, but this one I read, and she had said something about wanting to figure me out and they were going to figure me out the next day or whatever. And I was like, no, the heck you're not. So I like the competitor came out in me. And the third day, it didn't feel like like it felt like another game. Like the
Mhm.
last game felt like, oh, we're supposed to like survive and move on.
Mhm.
Um, like I think Kinsey Hansen and I were talking in the dugout. Like I remember sitting in the ice chest down the hall because I was trying to stay cool in between innings because it was so hot. And I was like, this doesn't feel like a national championship game. She's like, I know, but we only have 6 more outs. And I was like, yeah, only six
Right,
more
right,
outs.
right, right. It's a
That's a
long way
long
to
time.
go. Mhm.
And so like man, I remember hearing the crowd. I still kind of get the like same feeling while I'm talking about it. And I remember when I was walked the girl that got on first, the whole time that I walked her and I threw 4 balls in a row before Coach Grocha came out, I was just thinking, do not overthrow first base.
Right.
Like, because I was like, the ball usually comes back to the pitcher. Do not overthrow first base. And so when Coach Rocha came out, I remember her like trying to calm me down. And I was like, okay, you're right. Like, it's just another game. It's just whatever. And just when the final out came to me, I was thinking, don't go in the sun. I'm not kidding. Like, the sun is here. The ball is like right
Yeah,
here, like
yeah.
next to it. It was crazy. And honestly, I've rewatched that pitch multiple times and I still don't understand how it came to me.
Mhm.
It looked down the middle to me and I don't know how it popped up straight to me.
Right,
I don't know.
right,
And I was
right.
also thinking like, Jana, please let me catch this ball. Please
Right,
don't
right,
come
right,
get it
right,
from
right,
me.
right, right.
Because usually they get called, they're like, go call off the pitcher,
Right,
but
right,
thank
right.
God
You
that they
never
didn't.
did.
Yeah, that was really fun.
That
It's
was a
just
great
crazy to think
series.
about now.
Yeah, that was a really, really good series. Just looking back at everything, and I remember I watched every game, and it feels like it was like yesterday. It does not feel like it
Oh
was
yeah. It's
like
almost a year ago.
yeah, it was almost a year ago. That's crazy to think about how time goes by so fast. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So transitioning after OU. How? So I know you didn't want to finish playing softball. So like what? So like what was your thought process of trying to go pro and just everything? Like how was all that?
Um,
Uh,
honestly, a lot of it came down to like financial aspect, coming out of college. I wanted to play AU, but financially it was better to go play in Japan. And that had been a dream of mine since I was younger. So I was like, heck yeah, I'm going to play in Japan. Like this is
mhm.
what I've wanted. And then I went over and played over there and I loved it. It was great. Um, but it was also really hard, just like because I had just gotten engaged. I had just moved
Yeah.
in with my new fiance. Like everything was so new. I didn't know anything outside of softball, and now everything's changing.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so it was really hard, but I did enjoy my time over there. But I got injured while I was there, so I had knee surgery in not March, in January, this past January. So I'm doing physical therapy now, and I want to play again, maybe. Still
Mhm.
figuring that out. It's the $1 million question. Am I going to play again? I don't know. Not this year, just for sure because of the knee injury.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see about next year. We'll see where I'm at mentally. But um, for now, no,
Mhm.
maybe.
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. We're
You can always
figuring it
look
out.
back. You're still like young. It's not like you're like like 30 years old. Like
Yeah.
you used to have a long way.
Yeah.
Um. So I know you're doing pitching lessons and stuff now,
Hmm.
and everything. So how's just the coaching? I coach a 7th grade AAU team basketball team. So
Yeah.
anyway, anyway,
Crazy.
but yeah, it's crazy,
Crazy.
crazy kids. So how's just the coaching been and just having those relationships with the young pitchers and just trying to help the girls,
Honestly, it's been so much fun. I am coaching this summer, my old club ball team out in Alabama. So I'm really excited to get to do that. But like just doing the individual lessons has been so awesome. Like I've done them before, but not as consistently as I have. But to like really be able to like create the bond, to see the improvement, like now I kind of understand like why Coach Rocha does what she does.
Right.
Just because it's so rewarding just to see like when their brain clicks of
Right.
what you've been talking about.
Right.
But it's been really awesome. I like really enjoy it, especially the young ones. And just being able to like help them mentally, physically, like, and just kind of to see their reaction too when they realize who I am. I held it, or like hearing the stories. I think my favorite thing about like in general, like coaching or when people reach out to me is like when they tell me why their daughter likes wearing glasses in games now is because they've seen me on TV with my goggles, and that
Right.
just like warms my heart so much. Like
That's
I'm
like a
like,
trademark.
that is
Yeah.
I know, and I love it. Like when they send me pictures or DMs that say like my daughter like now loves wearing your glasses, thanks for blah blah blah. I'm like, this is so awesome. Like it makes my heart melt.
Right.
Because I was nervous about wearing my goggles, but I was like, you know what, I have to be able
Yeah,
to
you
see
have
because
to.
yeah, it was that or contacts, and contacts, like I'm not kidding, like my depth perception is so off. I'm like, ooh, like it feels so weird, but it's just really awesome to hear that, or like see how I've inspired some of my lessons and whatnot. Just being able to hear it in person and be able to work and create that bond has really been awesome for me.
Right. Let's go to the bonus questions. Yeah, but those kids, even like with our group, like with my little group, like it took them a little bit to like get going, you know what I mean? But then when I was like, hey, we're gonna do it for this reason, like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh wow, okay, I see what you're saying now. And like, cause they're like 13, 14, so they think they know it everything.
Yes.
And they still need so much like help and assistance. You know what I mean? So it's like a weird age,
yes.
you know. But the bonus questions. The first question I want to ask is Mount Rushmore of athletes. So 4 athletes that you really like that you were inspired by.
Okay. Well, Jocelyn. You have to. I'm sorry. She's got to go up there. Oh, this is so hard. How many are there?
You have 3 more.
3 more. That's what I thought. I just want to make sure. I got to put Lauren up there. I got to put the 2 best hitters. So I got to put Lauren and Jossie. Kat and this is so hard. I got to think. I want to say Monica Abbott, and I got to pick the 2 lefties.
Yeah.
But if I had to add a 5th, I'd put Kaylani because I know her and I love her so much that I think I would just
put
want her
all
up there for me.
softball players in interest. I thought you were going
to go. Oh, yeah. I didn't know that I had other options.
Oh, no. It's anybody you can think of.
Athlete? Okay.
Yeah, just
okay,
like
sorry.
anybody.
I take that back.
Yeah.
I take it back. Sorry. That was just softball. All right. I'm going Michael Jordan. He's got to be up there. Yeah. Sorry. You got to have him. I'm still putting Jossie up there. I don't like LeBron James. Sorry.
That's my favorite player.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I almost ended this. He's my favorite. Like you should have seen my room, and I was like, well, I love LeBron. Anyway, I'll excuse that.
Serena Williams, because she is just a bad woman. Yeah. And I gotta put Kobe up there.
I love Kobe. I was tore up when he died. It was so sad.
I know.
It was him.
And
like the 7 other people. It was just sad. I couldn't believe.
Yeah. It. Oh, okay, now I have a question for you though. This is my question to you.
What's up?
Michael Jordan or LeBron James? Who's the best?
LeBron.
No.
LeBron. Michael. I love Mike, but like LeBron, like nobody's ever cloned LeBron. Like Kobe was a close name to Michael Jordan in my mind. LeBron is 6'8", 250 pounds. He's had so much pressure since he was like 16 to what he's doing now is just crazy to me. The longevity, I think, gives him that edge. Michael Jordan's competitiveness and his mental, just everything for basketball was, I think, is a little better than LeBron's. But I think as far as just basketball, LeBron can rebound, he can pass, he can score, he makes his teammates better. Like he does other things and off the floor too. He does, but
Okay.
but it's like it's really close. Like it's
Yeah. Okay. You know what? That's the best argument I've heard because you did give Michael credit. So
yeah,
okay,
because some people
I
don't. I'm not
understand it.
taking anything like Michael. Yeah, yes, Michael. But I just love LeBron. It's just me personally.
Yeah.
But who do you think the greatest? Just a random question. Who do you think the greatest softball pitcher is and greatest softball hitter? Well, no, just say pitcher. Let's go softball pitcher.
Pitcher.
Obviously, Johnson Allen.
Oof. 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 Oof.
If you had one
Pitcher.
person to build around, who would that one person be?
Oh man, that's so hard. Okay, so she doesn't get talked about a whole lot, but her name's Alicia Hollowell. She went to U of A, and I believe she played with Jenny Finch.
Mm.
And I think she had a better ERA. And
Ooh,
I
Jenny's
just,
like good too.
I know.
Yeah.
Like I think she's definitely up there, and I don't think she gets as much credit as she should.
Yeah.
If I had to choose from this year's best pitchers, I'm going with Jordy Ball
She's fun to watch.
or Hope.
I like Hope.
I got to choose OU.
Yeah. Hope's
She doesn't get talked about enough. I
Hope doesn't at
can't say
all.
enough.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I need her to get like more hype because
Right.
she is too good and too dirty on the field.
Because I think Jordy's like her face and her persona like sells the tickets, and Hope's kind of more of the laid back, not flashy, you know what I mean? Just kind of gets the job done, and that's what people go to is just the ticket sales, you know what I mean? But Jordy's awesome.
Yeah.
I've seen her play like live, and I was like, well, she throws hard.
Yeah,
she's
she
really
does.
good. But she's a freshman. Like she has 4 years.
That's crazy to think about.
That's crazy to think about. It really is.
Ooh, that's scary.
It's fun to
honestly.
watch. Yeah, I know it really is. She already is good. Like so when she gets there, yeah. My next question is one restaurant forever to eat at. Where would you
go? Ooh, one restaurant. That's the problem though. It has to have variety. I feel like. I gotta choose Texas Roadhouse.
I love Texas.
It doesn't have like you can't not love it.
Right,
if somebody doesn't love it,
a basket of rolls and that's it.
Yeah, that's all I need. That or Olive Garden. Those are like
I just had Olive Garden like the other day. I just had it.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm really jealous.
Yeah, I had the steak fettuccine Alfredo is what I had.
Ooh,
so
that sounds delicious.
Yeah, but I haven't really had too much other than that though. I don't know what else to try. I love.
I usually do the make your own pasta, and I just do whatever I'm feeling that day.
The breadsticks are fire too, though. So I usually just get full on bread usually. So I don't
know if you're a dessert person, but you have to give this a shot. Do you like coffee?
No, never
mind.
Yeah, I'm like one of the biggest person you ever meet. So I don't eat sweets. I don't do coffee. I don't do a lot of stuff.
I was gonna say Olive Garden's tiramisu, so good.
I've heard that it's really good though.
So good.
I heard that it's really good. Last question. Who could you get on the show? Do you have to have a connection with that person? Who would you want to see on this show?
Nicole Mendez or Danielle Gibson or Gibby. I call her Gibby, but I think Nicole Mendez for sure. They're both in my wedding, so those are like the first two people I think of always. But
yeah, definitely hit her up for me and we can get something going.
Oh, I will.
Congrats on the engagement too. That's huge.
So, thank you.
When's the wedding?
March of next year.
March of next year. Good. Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Well, I want to thank you for coming out. I know you're probably busy today, so thank you for spending some time with me.
Absolutely. This is so much fun.
Yeah, thank you so much.